Have you ever wondered if the people in your life are there by chance, or if there's a deeper, invisible force at play? Why do some people feel instantly familiar, like you've known them forever, while others challenge you in ways that feel almost destined? According to Buddhist wisdom, nothing in life is random. Every person you encounter, whether they stay for a moment or a lifetime, crosses your path for a reason. Every interaction has a purpose. Some people come into your life to teach you love. Others come to test your patience, stir your emotions, or awaken your strength. But each one holds a mirror to your soul, revealing something about who you are and who you're meant to become. In this video, we're going to explore how your relationships, yes, even the most painful ones, are powerful tools for spiritual growth. We'll uncover how they help shape your inner journey, reveal hidden karmic lessons, and offer you chances to heal, evolve, and awaken. Stick around, because once you see your relationships through this lens, you'll never look at them the same way again. Life is a web of meaningful encounters, each strand connecting us to others in ways both visible and unseen. Within Buddhist teachings, every interaction, whether short-lived or deeply rooted, is viewed as part of a greater spiritual unfolding shaped by causes and conditions. These moments of connection are never mere coincidence. They're invitations to evolve, to awaken, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. When we explore the wisdom of Buddhism, we discover that our interactions carry deeper significance. Every person who enters our lives does so not by accident, but as part of a karmic unfolding. Karma, the natural law of action and consequence, reminds us that our relationships reflect the seeds we've planted through past intentions and behaviors. These connections are shaped by intertwined pasts and present realities, often mirroring qualities within ourselves that are waiting to be acknowledged. Think of a bond that feels instantly familiar, as if your souls have crossed paths before. Or consider a relationship that provokes strong emotional reactions without clear explanation. These moments may be echoes of old karmic stories seeking resolution or completion. Such experiences, though not always comfortable, carry the potential for deep healing and insight. When we engage them with openness rather than resistance, we unlock the potential for transformation. From the Buddhist viewpoint, the people we encounter are not only part of our outer world, but guides to our inner journey. Each one reflects something back to us, be it strength, fear, compassion, or resistance. A loving friend may help us open our hearts, while a tense relationship can push us to grow in patience or courage. Even a chance meeting, a shared smile or kind word, can reconnect us to the universal truth of our shared existence. Approaching our relationships with awareness allows us to shift from a reactive mindset to one of inquiry. Instead of wondering, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin to ask, "What wisdom is this offering me?" This simple change in perspective can turn even the most difficult moments into stepping stones on the path of awakening. Some connections bring joy, while others stir pain. But from the Buddhist lens, even the most painful relationships carry spiritual potential. They bring to the surface our fears, our attachments, and the wounds we need to heal. An intense or chaotic relationship might lead us to set healthy limits, dissolve cycles of suffering, or rediscover our self-worth. Like the lotus that rises unblemished from muddy water, our growth often emerges from our most difficult interactions. Let's not fear the discomfort of certain bonds. Instead, let's meet them with inner stillness and compassion. Pain can be a teacher, and when faced with courage, it becomes a source of wisdom rather than a burden. Buddhism teaches us that all things, including people and relationships, are impermanent. Nothing stays fixed. Everything shifts and evolves with time. Just as leaves fall and bloom again with the seasons, so too do our relationships ebb and flow. Trying to hold on tightly to what is meant to change only creates suffering. Letting go, however, allows us to fully embrace each moment and appreciate it for what it truly is. Releasing doesn't mean detachment, it means honoring the natural rhythm of life. Some people are meant to walk with us for a lifetime. Others appear briefly, leaving behind lasting impressions. When we understand this, we begin to relate with gratitude rather than fear. Every relationship, no matter how long or short, easy or painful, holds a message. The karmic web of connection. Have you ever felt drawn to someone for no logical reason, or found yourself in a relationship that feels strangely familiar, even if it's brand new? Buddhism teaches that this is not coincidence, it's karma. In Buddhist philosophy, karma isn't just about punishment or reward, it's about cause and effect. Every action, every intention we've ever had across this life, and potentially many others, creates an energetic ripple. And those ripples don't just shape our circumstances, they shape our connections. The people in your life right now are not random. They are the result of karmic threads woven over time. Some of these threads are beautiful and loving, others are tangled and painful, but all of them have purpose. You may have loved someone in a past life, and now they've returned to support your growth. You may be working through unfinished emotional business with someone who triggers you deeply. Even those fleeting encounters, a helpful stranger, a shared moment with a passerby, can be karmic echoes guiding you forward. Years ago, Irene ghosted a close friend during a difficult time, unable to deal with the emotional weight. She moved on, but never fully made peace with it. Now, in a new city, Irene found herself being ignored by someone she deeply cared about. The pain felt strangely familiar. Through reflection, she realized this was karma, not as punishment, but as a mirror, showing her what it felt like to be abandoned. Instead of spiraling into blame, she took responsibility, reached out to her old friend, and began healing the cycle. Karma, she learned, wasn't about payback. It was about awakening through experience. Relationships are spiritual assignments. They show up to help you evolve, to wake you up, to reveal what's unresolved inside of you. That person who tests your patience, a chance to practice compassion, that connection that feels effortless and kind, a reminder of love's power to heal. When we understand karma not as fate, but as feedback, we begin to see that the people in our lives are here to help us heal what's broken, celebrate what's beautiful, and move toward a more awakened way of being. The role of relationships in awakening. Relationships aren't just part of our life story. They are the story. They are the moments where we collide with our deepest fears, our greatest hopes, and our truest selves. From a Buddhist perspective, each person you encounter holds up a mirror to your soul. They reflect back the parts of yourself you love, the parts you reject, and the parts you're still learning to understand. A supportive friend might remind you that kindness still exists in the world and within you. A critical colleague may trigger insecurities you didn't realize you were still carrying. A romantic partner could awaken both the desire to love and the fear of losing. These moments, pleasant or painful, aren't distractions from the path. They are the path. Buddhist teachings often remind us that enlightenment isn't found in isolation, high on a mountain or hidden in a monastery. It's found in the everyday, in your conversations, in your arguments, in your love, your heartbreak, your patience, or your lack of it. When we approach relationships with mindfulness, they become doorways to awakening. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And we start asking, "What is this showing me about myself?" This shift from blame to awareness is the beginning of transformation. It's how relationships evolve from sources of stress into sources of spiritual insight. Jack, an office worker, often clashed with his boss, feeling constantly criticized and undervalued. At first he reacted with anger, but over time he realized his boss was triggering old wounds from his childhood. Through mindfulness, Jack began to see the relationship as a mirror and a chance to heal and grow. The people around you are not accidents. They are guides, showing you the places where your heart still needs softening, where your ego still needs letting go, and where your soul is ready to rise. Every connection is a teacher. In Buddhist wisdom, every person we meet is a teacher, whether they arrive with kindness or conflict. Relationships are not just emotional experiences, they're spiritual classrooms. Each one offers us the chance to see ourselves more clearly, to evolve beyond our habits, and to awaken to deeper truths. Even the briefest encounters can carry profound meaning. A smile from a stranger, a kind word from a classmate, or a difficult conversation with a parent. Each is part of your journey. Take David, a university student, always impatient with his younger brother, who struggled with schoolwork. One day, frustrated with his brother's slow progress, David snapped. But later he realized his reaction came from his own pressure to succeed. His brother's challenge became a mirror, showing David where he was holding on to perfectionism and impatience. Through this, David learned to practice patience, not just with his brother, but with himself. The lesson was clear. Sometimes we need to slow down and allow space for others, and for our own imperfections. Some teachers show us how to love, others show us where we need healing. All are part of the same path. So how do we apply this wisdom in our everyday lives? Here are some Buddhist timeless practices that can help us meet relationships, not with reactivity, but with presence and compassion. 1. Cultivate loving kindness, metta. In Buddhist wisdom, we're taught to meet each person with metta, loving kindness. It's the gentle practice of silently wishing others well. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be at peace. This simple act holds deep power. Every person you meet plays a role in your story. Some lift you up, some break you open, some teach you patience, others teach you strength. Loving kindness helps us meet them all with an open heart. Even the ones who hurt us are not here by chance. They reveal our wounds. They show us where healing needs to happen. Through metta, we don't excuse their actions, but we free ourselves from carrying anger. We say, I let go, I choose peace. When we offer love, even silently, we begin to transform. Our hearts soften, our past feels lighter, our relationships shift. We stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start seeing, this happened for me. So today, take a moment. Think of someone who has touched your life, good or bad, and silently wish them well. Nothing is random. Every soul you meet is part of your path. And when you walk that path with loving kindness, you begin to understand love is never wasted. 2. Practice mindful presence, the gift of truly being there. In a world that moves quickly, where distractions pull us in every direction and attention is scarce, the greatest gift you can offer someone is your full presence. To be here, not only with your body, but with your heart, your eyes, your silence. Too often, we listen only to reply, already forming our answer while the other person is still speaking. But real connection isn't built on replies. It's built on presence. When someone steps into your life, even for a brief moment, they deserve the dignity of being truly seen and heard. Mindful presence means pausing, breathing, and listening, not to judge or to fix, but to understand. It means speaking, not to defend, but to express with honesty and care. In these quiet spaces of awareness, walls come down. Misunderstandings soften into clarity. Conflict transforms into dialogue. Distance turns into closeness. Not every relationship is meant to last a lifetime, but every encounter can carry meaning if we choose to show up fully. Mindfulness turns ordinary interactions into sacred exchanges. A glance, a word, a pause. These become bridges instead of barriers. And mindful presence is not only about how we show up for others, but also about how we show up for ourselves. When you are mindful, you begin to notice your triggers, your emotions, and your patterns. You learn to respond instead of reacting. This is how we grow. This is how we stay rooted in love, even through difficult moments. No one comes into your life by accident, and when you meet them with full presence, you honor the moment, the lesson, and the connection for as long as it is meant to last. 3. Embrace forgiveness. Sometimes people who enter our lives don't stay, and some may leave behind scars. But what if they weren't here to break you? What if their purpose was to awaken you? Forgiveness doesn't mean saying what they did was right. It doesn't mean forgetting the pain. It means choosing your peace over your suffering. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or betrayal, we don't hurt them. We hurt ourselves. That grudge becomes a heavy chain, keeping us tied to the very pain we wish to escape. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that forgiveness is not really for them. It's for you. It's the moment you stop replaying the hurt and begin reclaiming your heart. Forgiving doesn't erase the past. It simply stops the past from controlling your future. It opens a space in your heart where peace can finally breathe. And sometimes, the very people who hurt us the most are also the ones who reveal our deepest strength. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to? Whose voice still echoes in your mind? And how would it feel to finally let it go? No one enters your life by accident. The ones who hurt you may have taught you boundaries. The ones who disappointed you may have taught you self-worth. And through forgiveness, you don't just heal, you rise. Take a breath. Whisper to yourself, I release this. I forgive, not for them, but for me. And in that moment, something inside you begins to lighten. 4. Show yourself compassion. On this journey of connection and love, one person often gets left behind, you. We try so hard to be there for others, to forgive, to understand, to give our best. But what about when you fall short? What about the times you speak with anger, walk away too soon, or hold on too long? It's easy to be hard on yourself. But the truth is, you won't handle every relationship perfectly. You'll make mistakes, you'll misread signs, act out of fear, or let pain speak louder than love. That doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're human. Every person who enters your life plays a part in your growth. And sometimes, growth is messy. It's uncomfortable. It exposes parts of us we didn't know needed healing. But this is exactly where compassion must begin, not only for others, but for yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you love. Would you shame them for not getting it right the first time? Or would you gently remind them, you're trying, you're learning, you're growing? When you show yourself compassion, something powerful happens. You create space to keep moving, to keep loving, to keep becoming the version of yourself your soul came here to be. So the next time you feel disappointed in yourself, remember, every misstep is part of the path. No one enters your life by chance, and that includes you. You're not here to be perfect, you're here to grow, and growth deserves patience, it deserves kindness, it deserves love. From you to you. If today's reflection touched your heart, take a quiet moment to ask, what is this connection here to teach me? Maybe it's love, maybe it's patience, maybe it's letting go. Every relationship is part of your journey. Some people stay, others move on, but each helps shape the person you are becoming. Until we meet again, walk gently, love deeply, forgive freely, and remember, your journey is sacred because no one enters your life by chance.